The ultra-leftists over at MSNBC are calling the Let's Go Brandon chant a slow-motion insurrection. That's right. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest absurdity to come from the mainstream media. We're going to see their utter hypocrisy that even Fox News is calling out. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll show you how all of this admits that the mainstream media is absolutely panicking about 2024. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you, coming to you from beautiful but a little wet and crisp Connecticut. I'm celebrating the Christmas holidays here with my family. And before we dive into here, I just wanted to give a quick note. As many of you know, we've recently launched a brand new initiative called Change America, which enables ordinary patriots to do extraordinary things. It's a program that makes it possible for anyone and everyone to help unseat rhinos just by simply doing their daily grocery shopping. It's absolutely amazing. You can back America First candidates by simply going out to eat. And we're going to soon be announcing another benefit to come from this amazing new initiative. So make sure to click on the link below to sign up or learn more about our Change America initiative. You're going to absolutely love it, and keep an ear out for that announcement. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. The far-left activists over at MSNBC are besides themselves. They're beyond hysterical with this dad from Oregon who recently used what the mainstream media is calling a vulgar insult for Sleepy Joe on a public call with him at a Christmas event last week. I'm sure many of you know about Jared Schmeck of Oregon. He called in with his kids on Biden's little Christmas shtick, and he ended their conversation with a vulgar insult, "Let's go, Brandon." And the mainstream media went nuts. And it's so funny because they didn't just go nuts over the fact that this guy, Jared Schmeck, got more airtime than Biden. He got more of an audience with Biden than any member of the mainstream media has. They freaked out over the fact that this guy not only had the gall to say, "Let's go, Brandon," to Biden's face, but to their utter embarrassment, Biden agreed with them. Biden agreed with them. Take a look.
That is correct. Hello.
Hi. Go ahead.
How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Who's this?
This is Jared.
Hi, Jared.
I assume you're dad?
Hi. Yes, sir.
Oh.
All right. I hope you have a wonderful
Hey,
Christmas.
well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well.
Oh,
Merry
thank you.
Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, where are you in Oregon? Where's your home?
So Biden agrees. Biden basically just insulted himself. He told himself to F off. It was an absolute embarrassment on Biden's part, no question. And the mainstream media is utterly livid over it. And then, as if to pour salt on the wound, this Oregon dad went on Steve Bannon's War Room sporting a MAGA hat and totally doubling down on what he did. I mean, how much more in your face insulting can you get from the mainstream media? And so this prompted the ultra-leftist radical Marxists over at MSNBC to suffer yet again another meltdown. And the leader of this meltdown this time was Nicole Wallace, who called the Let's Go Brandon embarrassment nothing less than a slow-motion insurrection. Take a look at this absolute embarrassment.
Let me tell you why this matters. The asymmetry has always been what advantages the Trump right more than anything else. And the asymmetry of saying F you to a sitting president on a call in front of your 4 kids. Don't look past this. Don't look at this as a story about giving airtime to a MAGA guy who goes on Steve Bannon's podcast and said, "I wasn't joking. Not only did I say F you, Mr. President, I said more than that." This is the slow motion insurrection, Jason, in full color.
Now, you can tell as she's talking that Nicole Wallace, who is a borderline illiterate, you can tell she's actually trying to fabricate news as she speaks. She's trying to find what is actually newsworthy about this, apart from what actually is newsworthy, which is the utter fraud, the out-and-out fraud that is the Biden regime. The American people want nothing more to do with this incontinent old man. But the media, being his official propaganda wing, they can't stand that. So where does a borderline illiterate like Nicole Wallace go? Well, obviously, she sees the Let's Go Brandon moment as an ongoing insurrection. And the funny part here is she's not even original with this. The notion of a slow motion coup or insurrection has been going on in far left circles for some time now. Even the insufferable Jim Acosta over at CNN, who we like to call Acoster because he's more of a left-wing heckler than an objective reporter, he recently came out and said bluntly that it looks like we're witnessing nothing less than what he was calling a slow motion coup being launched by Trump. And one of my personal favorites comes from the ultra-left salon.com, which recently sounded the alarm that that supposed slow motion coup has indeed turned into a runaway train. It's a hysterical piece for sure, but I think it captures well the kind of panic that's beginning to set in among the far left as they recognize how our nation is more and more being realigned and recalibrated around the MAGA-based America First agenda. And in my opinion, that's precisely how we have to understand this latest absurdity coming from MSNBC. Yes, of course, it's hypocritical. Fox News has pointed that out, as did Ben Shapiro, to his credit. He tweeted out, quote, "Oh my God, a guy who was disrespectful to the President of the United States in one of the most euphemistic ways possible after 4 years of the entire legacy media celebrating pussy hats, middle fingers, and FUs directed at the President of the United States. Everybody freak out," right? Good point. Where was the comparable media outrage when Madonna said she wanted to blow up the White House? Or how about when Robert De Niro gave his F Trump speech at the Tony Awards? Where was the media's outrage then? Not just for De Niro's vulgar outbursts, but also for the standing ovation he received for it. So the media's hypocrisy is duly noted, but their outrage goes a step further here than the ridiculous and embarrassing hypocrisy that we've all come to expect from them. I think we really do have to understand that this insurrection nonsense is all an admission. It's an admission that the mainstream media is panicked that Trump is coming back. They're panicked that Trump is indeed going to win re-election in 2024. And so in many respects, you have to see all this coup talk as basically the continuation of the Russian collusion fiasco, morphed now into insurrectionist talk. So we all now know that the Russian collusion fiasco is one of the single most devastating events to happen with regard to the mainstream media's already damaged credibility. Their fixation on Vladimir Putin stealing the 2016 election was itself nothing more than an attempted cover-up of their own utter imbecility in their 2016 campaign coverage, which was dedicated to getting Hillary Clinton coronated as the first woman president. All the media, they were all in on that. And in the wee hours of November 8th, they soon realized that the vast majority of the nation gave them one giant, massive, collective middle finger and wanted nothing to do with the mainstream media. Well, given that the mainstream media is made up of a bunch of left-wing malignant narcissists, they couldn't handle that. They simply couldn't conceive how the vast majority of the nation so openly repudiated their ridiculously biased coverage of the 2016 presidential campaign, so they had to make something up. They had to hide that open repudiation of their trustworthiness with what turned out to be quite literally a bona fide conspiracy theory. And of course, that involved the Clinton campaign's fabricated notion that Trump and Putin were in cahoots to defeat Hillary, which again, if you think it through, was itself just a further extension of the media's devout propaganda mission for Hillary throughout the campaign. What the media started in 2016 in demonstrating their fealty, their undying loyalty to Hillary, simply continued on for the next 3 years in their unrelenting promotion of a fabricated hoax bought and paid for by the Clinton campaign. So now they got a new conspiracy. And that, of course, is January 6th and the insurrection to overthrow the United States government. But once again, it's not going to work. No one cares what the mainstream media says anymore. Keep in mind, it was the mainstream media that gave us the "Let's Go Brandon" chant in the first place, trying to cover up the obvious F Joe Biden chant that was going on all around him. It seems only fitting that this chant is freaking out the media so much, ironically, they only have themselves to blame for it. Now, before you go, you'll definitely want to check out my latest video on the Durham Russia probe officially investigating the Clinton campaign. It's going to absolutely make your day, so make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.